Hey there, this is Malorian, and now we're on to the second day of the Cry Havoc tournament, Game 4, and now in this escalation tournament, we're up to 2,400 points. So I basically just add in some quarrelers in my BSB, and BSBs are a good thing to have, especially with the Master Una challenge. Now, I'm a little bit disappointed from my first day. I got 2 Massacre wins, a major loss, but the main thing that's bugging me from the first day is just my own bad gameplay. I know I've been making mistakes, and I can't do that. And if I want to have any chance at winning something at this tournament, I just got to pull it back together and start doing really well. Well, I get there, and I know I'm up against Wood Elves. This guy, James, I've played him before. He does a nice little like hide-and-go-seek type thing where he only engages if he has to, and it's another attacker-defender one, and I'm hoping to God I am not the defender. So let's just kind of go over this. It's called Gold Rush. It's going to be a battle line setup to begin with. You roll off, so who's the attacker, who's the defender, and the main thing is that the defender is going to have some gold that he's trying to defend. Now, this gold has to go on to, again, regular units, not war machines, blah, blah, blah. It's lost the same way as the stuff from before, like the slaves. Or if you're beaten in combat, you'll drop it. If you flee, you drop it. Stuff like that. But there's 6 of these, and at the end of the game, each of them are worth D3 times 100 points. So for those who aren't so great with math, that means up to 1,800 points can be dependent off of this gold alone. And of course, again, in general, it's based off of the victory points, but there's some other things as well. Now, some extra things here, too, is that the attacker will get to have D3 plus 1 units Vanguard up. So, a little bit of a help to actually get them there. Another thing they can do here as well is that the defenders will have it so that they will get automatically the first turn, and they're immune to fear and terror if they're holding this treasure chest. Now, when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, please make me the defender, because if I gotta sit back and defend this, you can hide all you want, Wood Elves. I'll just start popping off shots at you, but you gotta come to me. If it's the other way around, it's going to be really hard for my slow dwarves to get to this gold. I mean, sure, I can have the miners come in and maybe grab one, but he has a dragon and stuff that can go and try and take it back. So that's going to be a little bit difficult. Either way, the bonus objectives is to hold more treasure chests than your opponent at the end of the game, to have at least 3 different units by at least 1 run of combat by the end of turn 3. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm dwarves, he's Wood Elves. We'll be lucky if you even see combat by turn 3 with 1 unit. And then finally, you got to wipe out a rare choice with either shooting or magic. Let's see what happens.
It's battle time!
Alright, so looking across his army here, if you ever see those little chocolates at the back, that's actually the gold treasure chests. So he has a throwaway hero on the far left here. He'll have one. Some Glade Guard, they're also having one. Then some Treekin and some Dryads, they'll have one as well. Over here then he has a super bunker. So this is his unit of the Glade Guard. In there he's going to have a level 4, a level 2, a BSB. I think he might even have like another hero here as well. This is really like the bunker that I love shooting down with my Doom Diver. Unfortunately, I have no Doom Diver. And then back here, he has another Glade Guard unit. It has another one, 2 Eagles, and he has this dragon from the Storm of Magic, which is basically a star dragon. You know, 7's going across type thing. Alright, so looking at the board, it looks like this, and right from the beginning, I gotta say that I was really begrudging the situation, because as you can see there, he is the defender and I am the attacker. So somehow I have to get over to these hiding elves and get their gold. And this seems very hard. Now, the one thing I have going for me is that hopefully, I got the side that I wanted to be on because he has that big building to hide behind. That might sound stupid, but the idea is that he can't come out too far with his Glade Riders, or else I can use the Master Runa challenge to say, hey, either charge me and I'll kill you, or flee off the board. So clearly, those Glade Guard Riders, whatever, have to hide behind the building, which will make them in the perfect spot for me to get the jump on them with my miners. So that's one little gleaming thing, but I still got to get the rest of this gold. So that's going to be an issue. Another big thing I'm worried about is I know he's a guy with a good amount of shooting, and he has a Hail of Doom arrow somewhere and all this stuff. And if he really wants to, he can knock out a lot of my War Machines first turn, because remember, he automatically gets first turn. So this could be a real issue, but hey, whatever. I'm going to give it my best, and if nothing else, try and get a victory, even though it might not be a big one. For my number of Vanguards, I get 1, and I get my Great Weapon guys to go this way, mainly to threaten the building and to also threaten the Eagles. I know those Eagles are going to try and scream past me. I'll probably just get to shoot one with my organ gun, so I'll need to go after the other one with these guys here, either using the Anvil to charge or using the Master in a challenge. So after his first turn, it looks like this. The 2 Eagles are over there like I expected. Those Treekin are coming after me. And something to know about my BSB is he has a Flaming Attack rune. So he does very well with those Great Weapons where I can take away regen and then I smash them. But we are on opposite sides from that Treekin. So those Treekins are really having me worried here, where they're going to be able to come out, attack me, rip up my warriors, and bad things will happen from there. So yeah, I am really worried at this point. On my turn, though, wow, my War Machines kick it up. I hit these guys dead on with a rock thrower. I hit them with the cannon. My organ gun gets 10 shots, and I even hit them with the anvil, too, just to slow them down. And, yeah, look, they're down to just 2 guys that aren't going to be able to get a charge off because they're half speed. They also have gold, too, and so now with them being so weakened, I'm thinking, wow, I might be able to actually just to grab this one pretty easy. Otherwise, it looks like this. The organ gun was able, the other one, got also another 10 shots and killed off the other eagle that's on the far right. The one that you see right there now is the one I'm going to use the Master Runa challenge against, so I don't need to worry about anything getting past me first turn. Otherwise, that's really it and all I could do for the first turn, which, gotta say, was a pretty good first turn, decimating those Treekin there. Now, I have to also worry about his dragon over there, but really, that dragon also has to worry about me, because I got double cannons and the rock lava, and, well, okay, Grudge Thrower, and, yeah, I'm just really looking forward to these miners. So on his turn, like I said, I use the Master in a challenge. He decides to flee, and he is 1 inch away from the edge of the board. And then other than that, it looks like this. So he has his Glade Guard there on the right, which are shooting up my Dwarves there with great weapons, doing some damage, but nothing I need to really worry about. You know, same thing. My Coralers are shooting at his Dryads there, but it's just really because I have nothing better to do. Otherwise, no, there's not much else for him to do. His Treekin moved back. His magic phase can't really do anything because I just shut him down. In fact, he doesn't even try. You know, he looks at the difference in dice and he realizes that the best he can hope for is a miscast that will probably blow up his bunker and might make him panic. So he doesn't even bother with magic for these first few turns. My turn here. Now, my miners come on, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to be able to charge these guys. But one of the things he did at the very last second here on this last turn is actually turn them here. I don't know if it was because he knew my miners were coming or just to get the right angles or what it was. But, yeah, now I'm going to be able to charge these miners, and I'm looking forward to scoring, first of all, a lot of points for killing all of his characters, and second of all, just getting one of those bricks of gold. Over here, though, I was joking last turn that, sure, I got 10 shots and direct hits and all these things, but the pendulum swings both ways. And here it goes, where this organ gun explodes, and this cannon explodes, and this organ gun explodes. So just like that, oh, man, what is that? That's like 330 points I just blew up of my own army. So thank God I have this bunker thing going on, because otherwise, not only is my opponent sitting on a potential 1,800 points, but I just handed him like another 300 and something too, just because I'm that nice. Otherwise, I use the anvil and I charge in here, but yeah, it went pretty crappy. Basically, you know, I have great weapons. I'm pretty awesome, but I don't have good armor. And he started rolling really well, did 6 wounds there, and I actually lost this combat. That's right, a full unit of miners charging into a bunker of wood elves and mages lost combat. So luckily I'm steadfast on a 9 and I hold, he reforms, and this is bad news. Turns out to be even worse news because I didn't realize it, but this dragon was also looking at the flank. And so, yeah, it charged in here too. And whereas I thought I'd get a second chance, I'm just dead. Now, this is one where it's a little bit tricky because if you can look from this angle here, the dragon is actually facing one of the corners. And so this is something I'm going to be messing up all game. But these miners, see you later. So after everything's said and done, yum, 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 dragon eats some miners. And the board looks like this. So I was able to kill one more of those treekin. He's still running away. I'm going to try and get him with my shields. But that's pretty much all I can do. Like, again, he's trying to shoot up my great weapon warriors there. I had killed that eagle, so I wouldn't have to worry about it. But, yeah, now I realize, too, because he hadn't moved it over at first, that those Glade Guard on the far right also have a brick of gold. So now I definitely want to get into those guys. On my turn here, I shoot at this guy, and I bring him down to like 1 wound. So definitely, I can't wait to finish him off, get the points. And otherwise, I come over here, and I anvil the charge into his Glade Guard, and this should be a pretty easy win. So after everything's said and done, I kill them, and then I reform to go like this for 2 reasons. One, it'll mean that the dragon can't see me, whereas when I was in horde formation he could. And 2, it means I'm within 3 inches of the building, so I can enter it next turn, and hopefully do another assault on him. Otherwise, the board looks like this. I'm trying to advance onto his treekin. I would like to do more shooting, but, you know, my war machines keep blowing up. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. He backed up, so I'm moving up my quarrelers now too, so I can get some shots on. But that's pretty much it. And at this point, I'm realizing that I am giving away way too many points. I am in big trouble, so I just need to be as aggressive as possible to try and actually win this game. Over here, his dragon comes and does his breath weapon and just crushes me. He also unloads his Hail of Doom into me, and after everything is said and done, I'm down to just, 19 of these guys left. Okay, 18 in the BSB, so a little bit of a worry. So at the end of the turn, it looks like this. Just more backing up, some shots from the left, but not really getting anything done on my shield warriors. And again, I don't think he's even tried to cast magic yet, because it just isn't worth it. Otherwise, on my turn, I go into the building, and this really is a worry for him, because just like how miners can come out from the side of the board and then anvil in, these guys can now leave the building from anywhere and anvil into him. So even these fast cav can't really get away from me now that they're back behind this building. So his bunker is in a lot of trouble again, but hey, they already beat off some miners. They could probably maybe beat these guys if they had that same luck again. Over here, I was able to anvil into the treekin, so should be easy win here. And I beat him and I overrun so that hopefully now I can get closer to these guys, because if needed, I can also use anvil tricks over here to get into these Glade Guards and, you know, kill them, kill that hero, and get that gold. Otherwise, the board really looks like this on this other side. Now, I want you to kind of look at the positioning of that dragon. Again, I thought he was looking down here. He actually had meant him to be looking at the building so he could charge the building if I went in there. We went off intent, and I said, hey, buddy, did you intend for him to be looking at the building? He said yes, so we 4+'d it. The 4+ went my way, so the dragon couldn't charge. So that's really good, because had he got in there, he could actually go and do some good damage to me. But then again, I also hit him with the Grudge Thrower this turn and took off 3 wounds. So he already is kind of hurting pretty bad. But then again, my great weapons wound him on 6s. So it's not like they're going to finish him off. Otherwise, over here, he just kind of reforms so I can't see him. And then he just shoots me a little bit more. And on this side, he now, like I said, realizes that the anvil is a big threat, and he's really trying to make this to say, hey, if you want to charge into me, the dragon's going to fight you. I think I could have positioned a way where I could hit like behind the dragon, and you know what? I even really contemplated saying, hey, I could just hit the flank of the dragon, and then hopefully beat him through combat res, and then overrun into the bunker. But that would have been a lot easier to do if I wasn't already half dead. So what I do is I pop out from this side of the building. My cannon decides to help me out, and it misfires and destroys itself. I mean, really, my war machines have been doing all they can in this game to keep me from winning. My anvil doesn't fail me, though, and I charge in here. And there won't be too many of his guys that can fight, but basically once he moves out of the way, all of his combat characters will be over here. And then when everything's said and done, you know, again, he does quite a bit of damage to me. He kills, what, another, 7 of my guys. And these are wood elves, freaking wood elves. It's because these, like, horses are hitting me and kicking me and killing me. It's ridiculous. He actually loses combat, but he only needs a 7 re-rolled. And luckily for me, he fails. I run, I don't know if I run down, but either way, he's at the board. I snag their gold. I go off the board. And that is a ton of points and more gold, like I said. Otherwise, it looks like this. The other unit had reformed to look at the archers so that there's no escape. And those quarrelers are moving up just so they can actually maybe charge those dryads and finish them off or something like that. So on his turn, he sets up the dragon so that there's no escape. This turned out to be a little bit of a waste because we kind of forgot at this point that this is turn 6. And, you know, with him going first, he won't have another chance to do anything to me. Otherwise, over here, when it does get to my turn, I charge his archers. He is able to flee and get away, but he has to drop the gold, so there's some more points for me. And over here, I really debate. Again, I'm also being dumb at this point here, too, saying, oh, man, I don't want to deal with this dragon, so I actually anvil into it. What should I do? Is there any way I can get into the building? And it's not until after, like, 5 minutes of deliberations that, oh, yeah, this is it. I don't need to worry about anything. And so really, at the end of the game, it looks like this. I had tried to pull off a charge with my quarrelers, failed the charge. That probably might have been suicidal anyway. Dryads are a little bit better fighters than me anyway. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it. I have 4 things of gold. He still has 2. And even though I killed most of my war machines and my miners got killed, you know, all my big stuff's still alive. So there you have it. When we had to add up all the points, one of the things that helped even more is when we rolled that D3 for my gold, it was like 6s and 5s for everything. So that really helped me push it past. I got a massacre win, and I was feeling so good because here we are. We now have 3 massacre wins. I do have the 1 loss, but it still is a lot of points. And I also felt kind of bad because here I was at the start of the game. I was just saying, like, this is ridiculous. Like, even the TO's there, and I'm saying to, like, man, this is just too much. Him getting first turn, all these things being D3 times, you know, the possibility of 1,800 points, you know, even just the average of it being 1,200 extra points just from having to stay back and hide. You know, it's so much to overcome, and then here I go and I get a massacre win. The star of this game, almost just like in the High Elf game, was that Anvil of Doom. If it was not for the extra movement from the Anvil of Doom, I might as well just not even tried this game. I just would have lost. No chance whatsoever. You know, it'd be thinking like, hey, the miners come on, and he runs away and kills me with the dragon. You know, I'm trying to go up him with my guys, and he just runs away. I shoot down, you know, the shooting I still have, so good. I go and I shoot down his Treekin, and one of his units goes and just grabs it, or I can't even get to it, or whatever, right? It's just, I'm not going to win this battle. Now, one of the things that I had thought was going to happen in this game that didn't is I really thought he was going to use that first turn advantage to really go and shoot down my war machines. Now, one of the things he was kind of afraid of, and I knew I was going to use to my advantage, was that Master Rune of Challenge. But really, if he took that first turn to move up, even with his little bunker there, and, you know, Hail of Doom down one of the organ guns, other shooting, you know, really concentrates on the other organ gun, you might be able to take them both out, and then even though I can, you know, use that Master Rune of Challenge on you, you just flee and rally, and you got lots of board space to do it. So I think he kind of let me get off pretty easy with the whole first turn advantage. But then again, hey, that big Hail of Doom did come in to kill lots of those warriors later. The magic phase thing too, I think he made the right call. There's only one turn where he had a lot of dice, and between me having the +4 dice, me taking one away, I also have the scroll, I just shut it down anyway. So I really do think, you know, a lot of the spells he had too really wouldn't do very much. He didn't really have a lot of good spells that were going to be offensive in any way or change anything too much that actually make a difference. So I think he made the right decision there. But overall, a very tough scenario that was won basically because I had the anvil and got to play the little building tricks there. But really fun opponent. Good to see somebody sticking with those Wood Elves, and he wins with them too. I mean, the very fact that I'm facing him there where I'm, you know, above in points from the 500 point, you know, he does very well with them. So I know it's always a hard game, and it was, and I hope you guys like watching it. Bye.